Welcome to Healing Hype Man. This message is for Taurus. Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. I have present energy, I have past energy, and then we're going to see where this is going. I don't know where to start. The Tower, Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. Give you a visual perspective of. It's like I don't have the words to. It's this is not a usual Healing Hype Man message here. Well, the present energy is painful, is chaotic, is maybe feeling stuck. Something has changed. But the Three of Swords would tell me that there's pain, or there's maybe it's familiarity of pain, right? Or this reminds you of something painful. You could also be processing this, right? Because I do see that we have the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords, so it could be mental, right? Mentally stuck in something, and how we got here. Five of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and Three of Wands. Something was disappointing. You invested into it. Something was disorganized. It could be about somewhere that you wanted to go, something that you wanted to do, right? Because Three of Wands would be like you're contemplating on like where to go next, like, or what to do next. And so there was a very big contemplation, like it's coming from a space of disappointment, and perhaps now you're sitting in the disappointment that you were anticipating. Anticipation anxiety too is coming through. Let's see. Let's dive a little deeper here, because I'm like hesitant to even read this. Like, I don't really like putting messages out like this, right? But hopefully we can transmute this here. Tell me why the Tower is here. Eight of Pentacles, dedication, the High Priestess, and Two of Swords. It could be something that you were working hard on, right? That you really didn't know where it was going, and it put you in a position where you had to contemplate. And I'm wondering if you're catastrophizing something here, right? I'm wondering if you're catastrophizing something here, because you might have put a lot of work and effort into this. You might have been doing things not knowing necessarily where it's going, right? There was just like a deep knowing of some kind. Things could have been revealed, or secrets could have been revealed at the same time. And Two of Swords, then you're not sure what to do next. It is very stuck energy, right? I guess we're going to start there. All right, so then tell us, what do we need to know about this situation? You guys are going to get different questions here, Taurus energy. What do we need to know about these situations here? Three of Cups, people involved, Eight of Wands, and the King of Cups. What we need to know is that Three of Cups with the Eight of Wands, people moved on. Other people's hearts have moved on. I'm going to leave that there. Other people's hearts have moved on. What do we need to know about? Maybe that is insight for you, perhaps for you to move through this energy, right? It seems like you were stuck, and I might tell me about the situation. Three of Cups would tell me that there were other people involved, right? It could just be one other person or just groups of people. I could also say here, what you need to know about this is like, you need to have fun and move on, and think about your heart, right? Think about really picking up your emotions and coming from a very mature space, a very mature lens, right? Okay, what do we do moving forward? What do we do moving forward? Queen of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the Justice card. What do we do moving forward? We need to gain a sense of confidence. We need to sit back up on the throne. We need to look at our options that are actually, there's other options and opportunities and maybe even people or emotional spaces that will be fair for us, right? Balance will be restored when you can gain a sense of confidence, look at the other opportunities that are in front of you, the other options that are in front of you, and realize that you can find a space that is fair for you, right? I don't know if we're talking about a relationship here, but what I can say, a relationship, it goes two ways. So, you know, when someone brings me like one side of the story, I'm like, well, that's just your side of the story. And to me, that's not even enough to tell you what happened, right? You never really know what's going on the other side. So tell me what's going on the other side here. Then let's find out. On the other side of this, that question, Six of Swords, they're gone. They or the other opportunities gone. Six of Swords, Knight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. They're already taking other opportunities, right? They're investing in different things. So I wonder if this message here is to tell you, like, if you feel stuck or something made you feel stuck or something came down in a way, right? The Tower moment, something came down in a way that you didn't necessarily like two messages of saying like, you got to move on. They've moved on. I guess for some of you, that's what you needed. You know, I don't really do love readings like that, but this is really what's coming through here. You got to move on. They've moved on. You should consider moving on, right? How do you gain confidence? Look at your other options. Perhaps there's someone here that might help you attain confidence, right? Balance can be restored with the Justice card. And when I see this, I'm like, which tells me the other one wasn't fair. The other situation was not fair. And there is a fair opportunity, option, choice, decision there. We just need you to see that, right? We need you to come back onto your throne and realize like, okay, you know what? I can creatively and I can confidently get my way through this, right? As I always have gotten through things. I did have a question in mind here. Well, what's the lesson here? Because you can't have moments, Tower moments like this and pain without there being, like, what's the lesson behind this Tower moment? Four of Swords, Four of Wands, and the Devil. This is a wild reading. Four of Swords, Four of Wands, and the Devil. You kept quiet. What the lesson is that you keep quiet what it is that you really want to be attached to. Another way I can say that is that you internally I would say that internally you stay quiet about what it is that you want to be attached to. You stay quiet about what, to be honest, what this could be a relationship, what like your wedding looks like. Like, right, if like some of you actually want this is a wedding taking place. Right? You stay, and for another way to interpret this is sometimes like, this is a celebration, right? There's something to celebrate there. I would say you might not even celebrate yourself enough. Okay, good. Right? And where I'm getting that is the Four of Swords here, because this is very silent, meditative, introverted, silence. Sometimes this fourth sword is like secrets that we keep beneath us, right? So there's something about, and I can also say shadow, right? There's an aspect here about your shadow, because of course the Devil is here, and the Devil can symbolize attachment in some way. And it doesn't have to be a toxic attachment. It does not have to be a toxic attachment, but it is an attachment, right? Depending on like what's next to it here. And being next to a card that symbolizes like marriage here, I wonder if you're keeping quiet about you actually wanting to get married, be in a relationship. You stay quiet about what actually fulfills you and the type of person you want to be attached to. Clarify each of these, please. Yours is definitely an interesting read. The Hanged Man, you stay quiet. You think, you contemplate. Ace of Swords, marriage. Clarity, the Empress. The reason why this was a tower moment and you feel stuck and it might be painful for you, Taurus, this is definitely not going to resonate for everyone, is because you don't have clarity on your value, on how you value yourself. You focus on others, you focus on the attachment of others, and you forget about you. You're not clear on your morals and your values. I'm being very honest, right? So that would tell me, like, just not even intuitively, like logically, like you may put the needs of others first, okay? You may not actually tell people what it is that you truly want in life and value, and you don't value yourself. You attach yourself to other people, to some aspect of value here. So, like, let this be the lesson. So then, what's the lesson? You need to understand who you are and what you're worth and what it is that you actually want. Why do you wake up in the morning? Right? We do that in therapy. Like, why do you wake up in the morning? What are your values? Why do you wake up? And what are you striving for? And the things that you do every day, is that congruent with where you want to go? Is that in line? Does 1 + 1 equal 2 in your life? 2 is where you want to go. Does the 1 + the 1 equal the 2? Or are we like -6, -5, but I want 2? I don't even know what that, I don't do math. I'm a therapist, not a mathematician, right? We want it to equate to where we're going, right? And like, this is big energy here. It's just like, at the same time, it's like you really stay quiet on your truth about who you are, right? So this could very well feel like it's like you finally coming out and showing the world who you actually are, how you value yourself. I would ask you that question: do you value yourself? Right? Trust me, I've sat with clients who don't value themselves. They find success and joy in doing things for other people, or they need to be in a relationship in order to feel valuable. And while I know that stems from, absentee of family members that didn't give them the love and affection from the past, and that's just one assumption, and that's finding external validation. But we do got to start from the inside out here. Where's the shamanic healing cards? Here they are. I'm going to pull a shamanic healing. Perhaps this is what you need. Sexual energy. Some of you could be holding back on your sexual energy. Sexual energy can be very healing in some way, but I know that the world is like, I don't want to do that with just anyone. I don't want to, right? It's monogamy and my personal value. I'm not going to impede my personal values here, but shamanic healing, sexual energy. And here's what I'm going to do for you guys, because I'm going to read this. And at the bottom is ascension. And I'm going to be very honest. Most recently, I have healed a big chapter in my personal life by revisiting my sexual energy. The burden has been lifted. Sexual energy is creative life force energy. It is the most sacred thing out there possible. But when we are rigid on it, when we are rigid in 2025, right, how it was created and what it was intended for doesn't align with where we're at today. So you have to find a different way to be able to express desire, right? Desire is massive here. And maybe that could be an aspect, like not just sexual desire, but what it is that you actually desire in life. I'm going to read this for you, Taurus, and if it resonates, it resonates. Oh, it's 24 and 25. So there is some aspect of ascending here, or maybe we went back. 25 came out first, which is sexual energy, and then we went to ascension. Should I read ascension first? No, sexual energy. Different kind of reading for you guys. Hope this helps for you, to be honest. Because this is a big topic, but why am I so hesitant? This is to me, this is like up my alley, and I think because it's Healing Hype Man and I expected it to just be like something positive. That's really what I strive for. Sometimes it's not. And I hope that you find some value in this. Sometimes the harsh truth will get you to take some action. In the pursuit sense, sexual energy is not an energy to be expanded from you. It is a state you to reside in. The first and the second chakra are the root of your sexual feelings. When you use this very potent energy to manipulate people and situations, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. When you expand your life force energy up from your first two chakras and incorporate the energy from your heart and your crown, you can experience the most complete and divine experience of sexual energy possible. This doesn't have to include another person. When you can merge your connection to Creator with your connection to the earth without any filter or blocks between the two, you will experience a complete and true connection. We act as a conduit between heaven and earth, and when we can put ourselves into this energy at any given time, we are not tempted to use our sexual energy in a way that feeds our need for validation, nor are we easily manipulated by others' outputting of sexual energy. This card is asking you to look at where sexual energy is directed in your life. What I could say here is that for some of you that might have been in this tower moment feeling stuck, maybe some of you are trapped by sexual desires. Some of you might be thinking of it as more of like a thing to do instead of a thing to feel, instead of a thing to desire, and finding different ways to fulfill that. Right? It does not have to be with other people. It can be by yourself, but exploring, right? Give yourself permission to explore sexual energy, right? And that doesn't have to be the whole context of this. But I think that some of you might not value yourself, or what I'm getting here is just a lack of value, right? Value your body, value yourself. How are you giving that away? Are you giving it away, or are you letting people take it, right? Because there's a difference between you choosing to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. I'm down, right? And a difference between like someone's like, I want it, give it to me, and you do that. And you could take that in a life perspective. Are you choosing people based on the value of you, how you view yourself, or are you just taking what comes your way? Right? I think being more selective here in who you give access to you and permission to could behoove you. I'm going to leave that right there. Let me know what your thoughts down below. Check out your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, and I'll catch you in the next one.